This is my audience. Where you live is a major priority when it comes to your family and your family's needs. Living in a small town will allow you extra time for other activities other than waiting in traffic. Saving money can come in handy, especially when raising a family who has children that need to go to college one day. Living in a small town does not mean you have to live hours away from a big city. For example, I live 30 minutes south of a major city in Kansas. Today, I would like to discuss the benefits of living in a small town over a big city. For example, the cost of living. Making ends meet can be hard for some families, especially when the cost of living is rising around us. If saving money on your housing costs is a major priority, and you would rather spend money on fun activities with your kids one day. For example, I live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. This is not my house, but just an example. With a full basement, 2-car garage, and we pay $600 rent a month. In a major city, if you find an apartment, you may be paying up to $1,500 rent for even a studio or a big city loft apartment. When traveling to bigger cities, I have noticed that the price of groceries have been more expensive when you are in a bigger city. A bag of chips, for example, in a smaller town may cost $2.49, while a bag of chips in a big town would be $3.60. My favorite part of living in a small town is the price of gas. Smaller towns have lower prices when it comes to gasoline, costing around $2.30 a gallon, while major cities can range from $3.50 to $4.20 a gallon. According to ProQuest, during the holiday season, they will see a 13% increase in Amtrak in big cities usage because gas prices are too expensive for people to use their own cars. Being safe is everyone's #1 priority, especially when you have kids. Being able to trust where you live, your neighbors, and going outside at nighttime is very important. When it comes to community, in large city, the crime rates can be at an all-time high, and gangs are everywhere you turn. According to Edward Glazer, crime rates are 300 times more likely to happen within a city than a small town. As a parent, you stress enough about where you are going, where you go with your kids, if your kids are outside by themselves, or if they go, or where they are going to school. In a small town, it is easier to enjoy things without worrying about crime or violence because the crime rates are at an all-time low. Also, everybody knows everybody. This is a very true statement. When you live in a small town, parents love this saying, especially when their children start going out with their friends. As a teenager, most teenagers will try to avoid getting in trouble because no matter what, it will always get back to their mom or dad or grandparents. Also, it is easier to find people to trust when watching your kids or helping out. You know everybody, and everybody knows who you are. Small town traditions. Small town traditions are the best. Most small towns have traditions that they do every single year. Carnivals that come to town around the same time of the year. For example, in the town I live in, we have a festival called the Wheat Festival, where we have the carnival come. Santa will come to visit, and they will have a parade. We have parades during the football season. We have homecoming games, which include tailgating. We have the Great Race, where everybody joins in. We have craft fairs, chili cook-offs, baseball tournaments, and everybody likes to join in as a community. Who wants to spend hours in their cars just to get to work, the store, school, or home from a long, exhausting day? Commuting and spending time in traffic can be very frustrating and overwhelming sometimes. A trip to the local store can take up to 20 minutes just one way and 20 minutes on the way back. So spending 40 minutes in the car just to go to the store to get something, you can get from one side of town to the other side of town in less than 10 minutes if you live in a small city, without any traffic and only a few stoplights or stop signs. Sorry about my picture. I thought it was on there. Getting to work on time is very important for everybody's daily life. In a small town, you can leave 5 minutes early and be able to get to work, get out of your car, get everything locked up and clocked in just on time. When you live in a city, you may spend hours or spend extra time waiting on the road trying to get to your job. Transportation is never far away. In a small town, you can even walk to the downtown where you need to go. Most stores are located within blocks of each other. So instead of hopping in your car to drive from one store to another, you can usually enjoy your time walking and getting extra exercise. Everyone wants to feel accepted and welcomed in their own community and the people they surround their life with. Small town hospitality is very important. Have you ever walked into the grocery store and been welcomed by multiple people? Or going down the grocery store aisle and people are stopping you, asking you how you are, or how's your family, or even how your kids are. Belonging to a church and having that family is very important, especially when raising kids. They can learn about God and why He exists while parents make other friends. Every small town I have ever been to has small town values. They expect you to be friendly and polite to everyone along the way. Everyone is welcomed within the small community, and these small town folks love to have new members move to town. Overall, living in a small town has so many pros. Everyone is willing to help each other out when needed. When something is going on inside the neighborhood that looks suspicious, we usually call each other and see what is going on, and if we need to report it to the local police. Does anyone have any questions? Yes?
If you weren't pregnant right now and had a child, would you still live in a small town, or would you choose to move to a city?
I do like living in a small town, mainly because, like I said, I only have to go maybe 5 minutes to work. And being able to know who my neighbors are and talk to my neighbors when I go outside is especially important to me. This is my audience again.